What's up, you awesome geeks? Welcome to the Smuggler's Room Live Happy Hour.
We have a hello from Scotland.
Hey.
Field Walker masks.
First things first, can you guys see us okay? And can you hear us okay?
1 a.m. for Sam.
Oh my goodness, that's early. That's crazy, crazy early. How's everybody doing? You guys doing all right? Everybody healthy and safe? That's the biggest concern we have. You're doing all right.
Maybe ask them if they can hear us.
Yeah, are you guys able to hear us? No one's responded yet? Loud and clear. All right. And you can see us. Okay, perfect. All right. Sorry. It's our first live stream. So crazy stressful to figure out how to make all this work. I'd rather build a droid than go live. But we wanted to do this because we were thinking a lot about all of you, and everybody's trapped at home. And we thought, well, we've wanted to do a happy hour for a long time, and we figured let's just do it. We'll go do a little Q&A with everybody. First question out of the gate. We'll just get this out of the way now. It came in from someone on Instagram. Who was that, Carissa? Instagram. And you're with both Chris and I.
Yes,
She's
hello.
a little camera shy, though. So you got to look at my ugly mug instead of her.
I'm finding it right here. Andrew B. asks, what's the drink of choice in the Smuggler's Room?
So what is the drink of choice in the Smuggler's Room? The drink of choice in the Smuggler's Room, of course, is an old-fashioned. Now, we call it the fashionably oldie one, Kenobi. Carissa, let's show them what that looks like.
Here we go.
Let's add one more thing to class. My lovely wife and partner in this brought me a cocktail napkin. A Smuggler's Room. I have Smuggler's Room cocktail napkins. Okay, sorry. Just getting carried away. It was exciting to me. I was thrilled.
We have a question here from the Sofa Dude who says, can you make a droid helmet to put on a PC? I want to do it with a working head.
Like on a case, like a PC case, I'm assuming, right? Okay. Can I make one of those? I probably could.
You can make anything into a droid.
we have been known to make some weird things from droids. That's a pretty good idea. We're gonna have to put that in the list or the toolbox, if you will, of stuff to come up with. Everybody like the laptop cases from last week? Was that did you find that valuable? Is there something that you think you could do? Or we're always looking for different projects that we can come up with that we're not just using a bunch of expensive or elaborate tools, but something that everyone might be able to have. And we needed a little happy hour ourselves.
Well, here's a good one for you.
Yeah.
You can relate to this.
Okay.
Pete Lepori, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, says you got to work on getting the crystal clear ice cubes.
Right? Yeah. So I'm a big fan of the Cocktail Chemist. YouTube is Cocktail Chemistry. You need to check that out. And then also, let's just stick with him for right now because he makes the clear ice cubes with a little tiny Coleman cooler and then he freezes a portion of it, brings it out, cuts it up on his cutting board with just a bread knife, and it's perfectly clear.
Yeah, and on that note, here's a good one. Jason H. Carbon freezing chamber ice dispenser? ?
Oh,
don't give him any ideas.
I gotta go. We gotta build a carbon freeze.
I'm seeing some familiar names here too. Just
okay, who we got?
Shelby GT. We were chatting with them
Shelby. I love you, Shelby. Thank you so much for the support. You are awesome. So awesome.
Our dear buddy Joshua Trujillo.
We have a Trujillo in the house. I can't even tell you right now how exciting that is. Joshua is part of the Smuggler's Room team. You don't know this. He works in the background because we like to keep him in the background. No, I'm kidding. No, we love Joshua. He's a huge supporter. He's one of my dearest friends. It's fantastic. Thank you for coming, buddy.
We got the laptop cases were cool.
Awesome. I saw that our pal Gary is here. Gary, I saw you in the chat somewhere. Gary, we met at Star Wars Celebration in Chicago, and that was awesome. He and his wife are both 501st members. They do Jawa cosplay, and it's spot on. If you want to see some really cool stuff under the radar, great props and costume work, go to Gary on Instagram. Gary, put your Instagram link in the notes. People need to see that.
Yeah, definitely. Dana Griffith. We sent some.
Yes.
Yeah, sent some stuff. Want to see a droid build, I believe.
Yep. Okay.
Let's
talk droid builds for just a sec. So we've obviously built my pal Lefty here, whose poor lights aren't even on right now. But we built Lefty, and we've got a bunch of other 2/3 scale droids, and we did the DD3 build. I've been thinking about a Gonk because I don't own a Gonk. And here's my twist on the Gonk. And you guys tell me whether you'd want to see this or not. But I'm thinking about a Gonk droid that also houses either like the little Nintendo Switch or an Xbox One or both. And then you can have all that housed inside the Gonk. Also powers and charges your devices. Has a little spot on the top where you can put the remotes. And then it can plug into a jack in the wall that feeds your TV.
We just got a super chat from Gary Anderson.
What? And that's Gary. That's my man, Gary. Thank you, Gary, and he's so much.
ETA on the 360 camera tour of the Smuggler's Room.
So the Smuggler's Room project has been a labor of love. It's been 7 years, folks, since we started the first version. And I say the first version because there's like 4. Because we never could quite. I say we like it's my fault.
Before you move on.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Your father has a suggestion of moving your mic down so he can see your face.
My father wants to see my face. Are you sure?
There we go.
All right, I'm guessing that's probably not my father that was asking that. It's probably my mother in the background. Yeah, so Smuggler's Room, we'll do a 360 tour, I promise. Right now, there's like 2 sections that are worth looking at and then a lot of nothing to look at. But we're committed to finishing that room this year. Like, that's a goal. We really want that to happen. So we'll do a 360 tour very soon. Yeah.
Right. Yep. I'm working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're trying.
Jeff Kemperman. Hi there.
Hi.
He needs to come up with a cool way to display his 2 lightsabers from Galaxy's Edge. Any ideas?
Ooh. So a couple questions there, right? Do you want to do something where it hangs on the wall? Do you want it in a case? Like a display case with glass? Do you want it to look very techy? What kind of lightsabers are they? Who do they belong to? That's a lot of questions. My goodness.
We did come up. You did have one idea that you've put together a prototype.
Yeah, I did. I could show you, but I would knock everything over. So I have a couple of thoughts on this actually, because I'm really into cases and boxes that you can also display. And I think an old school wooden box with the lightsaber in it that maybe the front folds over so that when it's sitting on a shelf or in a display case, you can see the lightsaber on display. And then you also have this really cool wooden box to tote around. And then, of course, some greeblies to add to it because everything has to have greeblies. And lights, yeah. Yeah.
Your brother-in-law says, listen to your dad. That would be Aaron in California.
So, folks, the problem with family. No, there's no problem with family. Actually, I apologize for the mic. I really do, because we had it set up above, and today was a technically challenged day. So I apologize. We'll work on this. I'll get a lapel and make this.
We'll
see all
greebly
this
it up
better.
as much as we can.
We'll greebly up the lapel. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
all right.
I just saw something really funny on here, and we don't like to talk politics, but
politics.
JT Thomas says Trump in carbonite.
That's fantastic. That'd be the best Christmas gift for my mother that we could ever do.
Yep.
I like it. I like it.
We'll move on.
Yep, moving on.
You might guess who this question's from.
Let's see.
Can you build an X-Wing tree house?
Oh.
You know who that's from.
Do I?
Ooh.
Now I feel bad.
Oh, she's going to be sad.
She's going to be sad. There's a lot of pressure right now. I might need another cocktail. Yes. Would it be my sister-in-law looking for my nephew? So I've built a couple of things for my nephew. You've seen that on the channel. The speeder, which, let me tell you, at Christmas, delivering the speeder and watching him wreck into the car with it, pretty painful. Yeah, that brand new paint job, he was adding his own weathering. And we've never even talked about weathering. He nailed it.
Yep.
Literally. Yeah.
Is there a favorite model set that has the best Greeblies? Name of set or link? Did we include that?
Yes. And we did include it in our last. It's a tank, and I apologize. I don't know the name off the top of my head. We did include it in the description on the laptop cases. So if you go there, you can actually see. It's one of those two. Actually, I bought both of them. They're both good. Yep. All right. She's laughing at me behind the scenes.
I love you guys are awesome. Oh, we have a question here about our t-shirts. When blue shirts are coming. We weren't sure how those would go over.
Yeah. So this may be the same person that asked me about them before, and I said, we're going to do it. And then we didn't do it.
Because he forgot to tell me.
So I wear a lot of dark colors because being a chubby geek, dark colors are more flattering to my figure. But we do need to get some blue shirts and things on there. We even started a Teespring thing for shirts, and just, we got to get it done. So yes, Carissa is writing it down right now. She's getting some blue shirts.
It's noted. Captain Kel Diggs is on.
Hey, how are you, buddy? Thank you for coming.
He's waiting for his new soldering iron. I said that wrong.
Oh, soldering iron? Soldering? Iron. Well, if you're from the UK, I mean, we watch a lot of Kumi cosplay. I don't know if you guys do. Her and her husband just absolutely kill me. They're hilarious, and they build some really great stuff. Yeah. And she says soldering, and I'm not really sure which way you're supposed to pronounce it. I've always heard it soldering.
Well, he's waiting for his iron before he can build the wall panels with the Greeblies he got. Oh, we can't wait to see.
That's awesome. You're such a big supporter. I really appreciate it. We really do. It's great.
Darren Moser, you guys will get the fact that I can't pronounce names to save my life, says this needs to be a regular thing.
So we've talked about it. Actually, we've talked about this for almost a year, I swear. We've got a lot of ideas for the channel. We really do. The first step was finding out if anyone cared whether we did anything or not, because it's kind of a ridiculous obsession that I have, as you've probably noticed. But we've talked about doing a happy hour. This first one, we wanted to do kind of a Q&A, give you guys a chance to ask questions about whatever you want. We can just talk, and considering the lockdown and what's going on, it just seemed like this would be a good time to do that. But in the future, I thought we could do some happy hours where maybe we come up with a project, and then everyone in the community, we all together kind of figure out how we're going to make that project. And then we'll go ahead and build it here. As well as maybe episodes where maybe you have a project that you're stuck on, and we can do this live thing. You can share that stuff ahead of time, and we'll get the entire community of people to help you get over whatever hurdle it is that you're having with that particular project. What do you think? Sound good?
Sounds great to me. And then, oh my gosh. I just have to say, I am just floored with how many people are on.
What? Do we have a few people?
Yeah, we've had 450 comments. This is so cool. What? Thank you, guys.
Wow.
Thank you all for your comments and being here.
Yeah, really awesome. Absolutely. And we really hope you're all staying safe and doing well. Sorry, go ahead. You
No, it's fine. I'm not.
Yeah, we just, I know it's tough what's going on out there. That's why we thought this would be kind of fun. And believe it or not, I actually went outside, like beyond my property line yesterday.
Show what you wore.
I didn't want to.
Oh, please. I'm proud of it.
No, I'm going to show this. I'm saying I didn't want to go out, but the beer cooler was empty. And that terrified me more than COVID. So I went out. But my wife, God bless her, she made me a mask. Yeah, it's a Star Wars mask.
Flip it over.
Flip it over. It's upside down. It's bright green, so no one will lose me. But, it's awesome. And it has a little slot in here that we can put paper towels, like shop towels, because I read somewhere on some website at some point that helped with more microbial defense. But what was crazy, it's like Mad Max beyond the Thunderdome out there. I'm in our big liquor store, and everyone's got masks on, and they're eyeballing you, right? It's kind of one of those. Are you looking at me? No, I'm not looking at you. I'm sorry. Are we 6 feet apart? We're 6 feet. I should build a lightsaber. It's got a 6 foot, and the orange thing on the end to
one
just
of the
walk around with. Yeah.
Retractable.
And then when I asked the gentleman at the beer cooler from 6 feet away, hey, can you tell me where I can get that? And he couldn't understand me. He's asking me what I said. I finally gave up and just bought a different kind of beer. It wasn't working out.
Or not a different kind of beer, one that you're familiar with.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so yeah, I went outside. So.
Oh, we have a question here.
Okay, fire away.
How many kids do you have? How old are they?
We have 1, 2, 0. None. This is the kid in this relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We joke that we were too selfish to have children, which is why we can have a full-time job, right? A great full-time job, and then another full-time job because there's no kids. We have 2 dogs. We were going to bring them in here tonight, but they'll whine, and we didn't want to do that. And we need a break.
Yep. And a cat. Don't forget
and
the cat.
And a cat. Yes, we have a cat.
We call him the cat, but his name is Bosk.
Bosk, right? There you go.
I would not let him name him Darth Vader. So we went with Bosk.
Anyway, yeah. Yeah, so there you go. No kids, just a lot of toys.
Our sister-in-law Desi says the Lowers team is watching and laughing and loving this live work you guys are doing.
Hey,
love you guys.
I love you guys. Brody, be good. Build some Legos. My nephew is just amazing. Kid is absolutely amazing.
Oh, I know. He's getting so tall and I can't hug him right now.
Yeah, he's 5 years old. He's 6'4". It's nuts. I don't know what happened, but it's okay. It's all right. We like it.
Oh gosh, yeah. Okay, Lisette, another Trujillo in the house.
Yep.
Yes, I want Reese's laptop cover.
You can build your own. We tried to do our best to show you how to do that. Definitely build your own. We did find this week someone wasn't all that happy with the laptop cover. It wasn't as functional as they thought it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do anything functional.
No.
Well, I mean, the margarita machine was functional.
Yeah. But
cumbersome, but functional.
Outlandishly functional.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's the way we look at things, as outlandishly practical. I don't know.
We have a gentleman here. I think it's a gentleman. That geeky maker could be a female.
Hey.
Says, yes, I made a Gonk. Gosh, I love the Gonks.
Yes, I know. They're fantastic. Geeky maker. I think I've seen your Gonk on Instagram. I apologize if I'm mistaking your name for somebody else.
Awesome.
Anyway, yeah.
I keep wanting him to make me a BB-8, but he says make it yourself. So
you guys have seen. I mean, we did the laptop video, and 90% of you said I lost. I didn't even know I was competing for that project, and I lost. She can make.
Whoop, whoop.
So she wants a BB-8.
Oh,
she can make it.
I'll start with a mouse droid. Those aren't any easier though.
Mouse droid would be fantastic. Yeah. Sure.
We'll see. All right. What else we have? Ooh. Rich Brian, hello. Hey, Brian and Krista. This is Travis's mom and dad.
Hey,
good to chat. Good to see you. It was a long time,
it's been a while.
We were drinking the last time we saw you guys.
Yes, that sounds bad, but it's good. I'm glad you guys are doing good. It sounds like you're staying safe. Please do.
Yeah, Jeff Montoya, Smugglers.
Hey, Jeff. Oh. So Jeff is a Patreon member, and by the way, for all of you that are thank you. You have no idea what it means to us. Allows us to keep this going. We're going to keep cranking this stuff out for you. Jeff Montoya is a member, and I've known him since I was a kid. As a matter of fact, 20 years ago this July, Jeff played at our wedding. His band. And
what was the main song
awesome.
he played?
We did a rendition of You Shook Me All Night Long, and that's how I serenaded my newly married bride, was a rendition of AC/DC.
Oh, it's great. Well, he says his question is, what is your weekly workflow schedule for your videos? Always amazed at how fast you get these out.
Well, number one, no kids. We've discussed that. I work a full-time job, believe it or not. And I love my full-time job. It's incredible. But I would say that the workflow, that's a tough question. It's pretty much when there's time and that I don't sleep. And then you combine those two together, we're able to get it out. And
we're finishing up at the last moments on Monday night.
Usually it's Carissa does a lot of the editing, actually all the editing at this point, probably 90% of it. We've tried to get ahead, which is why a lot of times I get asked, how come there's not a room build video every week? Well, the room takes a lot of energy, and they're usually bigger parts of the entire process. So what we try to do is some other projects in the mix, not only just to not get bored with the room, but to allow us a little extra time to work on everything. So like the laptop cases, we can do a date night and spend, a few hours doing that, and then the next day crank. Actually, everything right here is a massive project I've been on for 3 weeks. It's totally out there, not something you would expect from us. And we're super excited about it, and it's going to be different. And it's also going to help with the room build. And that's all I'm going to tell you about it. So let's be obscure.
Because that's coming up.
That's coming up. Yeah.
Let's see here. We've got, thank you guys. We have so many people here. Gonk,
awesome.
Gonk that houses cold beer. That's a great idea.
Oh, so if it's a Gonk that is a cold beer chiller and houses an Xbox, are we on to something?
Xbox.
I kind of like the electronics, but I'm always a fan of something that stores beer. That's convenient.
Yes. Especially if it's in the house right in front of the TV.
Yeah. If I can sit on the crotch couch and not lean too far forward. Yeah.
David Sloan.
David.
That's his idea. I like it.
Love it. Thank you, David. David's a huge supporter as well.
Dean Jones says, what book and what Star Wars film inspires you to make things the most, and why?
What book? What Star Wars book and film, or
what
just
Star Wars film or book?
Okay.
Or book inspires you to make. This is Dean Jones.
Gotcha.
Asking.
So I guess I'll answer this. This question gets asked a lot in different places. So in 1977, when Star Wars was released, I claim that I was in the theater, but I wasn't born until August. So I'll let you figure out how that works. So A New Hope was something I was introduced by my parents, who are awesome, by the way, later. But my first early memories were Empire Strikes Back, which is my favorite of the entire franchise. It is for most, I would think, but for me, definitely. And it was gritty. So that inspired me to get going from the beginning. That's the movie I go and reference a lot of the time, because there's you see more of the interior of the Millennium Falcon in that one. You see things like the AT-AT Walker. You just see a lot of more detail in that than other films for me.
Yeah.
So that's probably where I gravitate the most.
I would say too that, should I say not off the record, but on the record?
Yeah,
Alien and Aliens.
Yeah. So there's another. So
not Star Wars, but
we all know that like the majority of what we do here is Star Wars. That wasn't really by design. It just sort of happened because that's an obsession I have. But my second favorite movie of all time is Alien, Ridley Scott's 1979 Alien. That's a beautifully designed movie. And one of the key figures in that film that I'm drawn to is Roger Christian. So that was the original prop designer and and set decorator on A New Hope. And it's his brain that I love the way he designed all that stuff on a budget. I mean, he created, George Lucas is coined by creating the word Greeblies, but it was Roger Christian that came up with what that is. That building something from nothing, taking engine parts from jets and putting that all together. That's where that comes from. That's my hero. Of all the Star Wars saga, that's my hero.
There we go.
Yeah, and there we go.
We do have another super chat.
What?
Javin F.
Come on. Who?
Javin F. Will you be selling Kyber crystal crate kits like the one your father made?
Yes. So we got to be real about where Brian learned how to build stuff. And it comes from two people. Two, not 10, two. My father and my mother. So my father, as long as I can remember, has always built things. When we wanted something, why would you buy it when you can build it? And then my mother on her side, super, super creative woman, published author, the whole works. And she and my father, their imagination got spread to us as kids. So when I grew up, it was on the shop floor, in the sawdust. I can't remember a time there wasn't a tool in my hand or wanting to build something. So I credit a lot of this. To answer your question about Kyber crystals, yes, we're going to do that, but they're going to be my father's. And we'll put them on the shop because they're amazing. And they're cast from actual crystals. Yes. Real Arkansas quartz crystals that we dug out of the ground with our own hands. So, yeah, super exciting.
So there's a couple questions that are similar here, and I'm going to just read straight from, I think it's J. Sully 3D.
Yeah, J. Sully 3D from UK, from the UK.
Yes, he's asking, at what point during your build process do the materials stop being things and become something from a galaxy far, far away? Ooh, I like this question.
Wow.
Really good.
I'm going to have to get all deep on that one. That's probably a twofold answer. It's probably number one right away and number two later. And what I mean by that is, let's take, for example, if I see a projector, because projectors have great parts. The guts inside a projector are awesome. Projector lenses lend themselves really well to Star Wars universe. And I think the reason is there was a lot of vintage camera stuff that was used in the films. So, I mean, obviously the Graflex lightsaber is the number one. It's a flash bulb for a camera. It was readily available stuff. So when I see a lens, I start thinking about how that could be added to a project. We did an astromech panel. It's one of our videos for the Smuggler's Room project, and it's mounted and it's got a lens, and we stuck it inside a Simply Juice lid, one of my favorite all-time Greeblies. And as soon as I saw the lens, then I thought, well, that could easily tie together with that. So I think I start taking things apart and then identifying key design elements. So I look at a lot of Ralph McQuarrie artwork. He's the benchmark for all Star Wars. Even people like Doug Chang from Industrial Light and Magic will always reference Ralph McQuarrie when they want to figure out how to get grounded in a design they're doing. So I'm not sure if that answers the question entirely, but at least that's my thought process.
For me, when materials stop being things and become something from a galaxy far, far away, is when you start your weathering process.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They stop looking like juice lids and birth control packs.
Those are good.
Flanges.
And toilet flanges, the randomness, right? Yeah. Weathering does change it. Yeah, I think my poor mother always, every time we do a project, if we send her a photo and we send her a before weathering and after, I think she just wants to come up here and clean it because she wants it perfect. And
take the Clorox to it.
It really doesn't become real until it's dirty. I guess space is just filthy, but that's when it becomes real. Looks like it's used.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. What else?
All right. Andrew B says Gonk that brings me a beer. I like that.
Oh, this is just getting better.
Gonk ideas. I know. Our dogs should be able to do that by now.
Yeah.
But they
That'd be
don't.
nice.
Damon Zap. It is an understatement to say how inspiring you two are. Cheers.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, that was more or less why we did this. There's so many people out there that are builders or makers, whether it's Star Wars or something else, right? Pick a genre. I know video games are huge too, and we just thought, let's do something and share it, and hopefully someone will see it and say, well, I think I could do that, or I could do that, or I want to try that. Right. And then you go for it. And that's what we want. That's the whole point of this, is to just go for it. And if it doesn't work out the way you want it, awesome. Do it again and just keep doing it again. Yeah. I butcher stuff in here all the time.
That's another part of the process that sometimes you see little.
Yeah, we try to show that. I think we should honestly show it more. I think we should show problems more. I think what happens is when I run into a problem in the shop, I stop recording, not because I'm trying to hide it, but because I have to stop everything and think through what I'm going to do to fix it. But we'll show it more because there's nothing you learn from better. Yeah.
Yep. Learn from your mistakes.
Yep.
Here's another good question. Another that was repeated a couple times. This one specifically, DFC Props.
Yeah.
I have a question. What is the one tool or a few tools that you use constantly that you couldn't live without, and why?
Oh, wow. The one tool I couldn't live without. A pencil. Huh. Yeah, a pencil. I mean, a pencil is a tool. So, I did not expect that. We might have to mute that little chirping sound. I'm sorry.
I don't know how to do that.
The mute button up there. Yep, sorry about that. The pencil. So I would say a pencil, because if all the tools were taken away from me, I could still create. You probably know I mention it a lot. I'm totally obsessed with Adam Savage. And I've read his book physically twice, and I've listened to the audiobook 3 times. I just love and I'm talking about Every Tool's a Hammer, the book he came out with a few months back. And if you haven't looked at it and you're a maker or a builder, you should check it out. There's a lot of different philosophies he has on things in there. And he talks about sketching and drawing, and it struck home with me. Growing up, that was one of my favorite things to do. And then I went to college for graphic design, which is not what I do for a living now, but I did study graphic design. And I feel like if you took the shop away from me and you put me in a single room and the only thing I had was a pencil, I would be okay, because I could still build things. I could still create. It would be drawing, but it would still be creating. So I think my answer is a pencil.
No, I did not expect that.
I don't know if I could make a Greebly out of a pencil, but challenge accepted.
Well, one of those old ones that has, yes, you could.
See, I've done to her. This is what's happened to my poor wife. Someone who's had a 20+ year career as an interior design and architect, and now I've made her think about Greeblies on a daily basis. It's awesome.
And my laptop case shows it, I guess.
I'm winning. I'm winning, folks. I'm winning.
All right, let's see here. I'm seeing a lot of Star Trek stuff on here.
Okay.
Not a lot. Some.
I don't have any problem with that.
Harley Pebbly says something we wouldn't expect, something from Star Trek universe.
Yeah, so I'm not opposed to Star Trek. It kind of goes back to the whole what we do on this channel. It's been more Star Wars because that's what I'm obsessed with. But I'm a Star Trek fan. I mean, The Wrath of Khan might be one of the best movies ever made. Right? I don't know. Did we have a bunch of subscribers just bail all of a sudden?
I don't know. Okay. I can't tell.
No, I think that it's great. It's not as gritty and dirty and textured for me. And I think that's why I don't do a lot of those projects. But, that doesn't mean we can't. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah.
I would never put phasers on stun. They'd always be on kill. But that's, Yeah.
Let's see here.
We could do that. What else we got?
We got here. This is a long question.
Okay.
Dino Encounters.
All right.
Would love to know the major tools you have.
Okay.
Such as CNC, laser cutter, 3D printers, Cricut. Which glues are in your kit? Oh. And if you could identify the most used soundboard, LED board, Arduino from Adam Fruit or SparkFun that you use over and over that would be awesome.
Okay.
Christmas lights go a long way, but adding some programmability, such as blinking sequences in combo with sounds, would be awesome.
Fantastic question. So yeah, over the last 2 years, we've bought a lot more fancy tools than I've had in the arsenal from before. So we have the X-Carve CNC, which is what Lefty's standing on there, and we did purchase a Glowforge laser cutter, which I probably love more than I should. And we've got a couple of 3D printers. The biggest problem I think I have with 3D printing is I'm incredibly lazy. And when you 3D print stuff, there's a lot of sanding. I think I would rather drive bamboo shoots under my fingernails than sand. I can't stand to sand.
That's why he has me do as much as I can.
Yeah, I really like it when she comes to sand. But anyway, so I don't do enough 3D printing. I think there's some exploration to do there. But I look at all of those tools as it's not about the tool in that scenario. It's about the time it saves me. So going back to that earlier question of how do you come up with this stuff so fast? If I can design something while I'm on an airplane or in a hotel for my day job and come home and fire up 3 machines and put them to work and then go back to doing something else, I've increased the speed in which I can get something done. So I look at those tools as a benefit in time, not necessarily in efficiency. Although my dad will attest to this, I can't cut a straight line with a jigsaw, skill saw, table saw to save my life.
Your dad can attest to that?
My wife can too. So I do suck at straight lines. So I would say that would be how those are classified. I'm sorry, I'm losing the question here. I apologize.
The
Sorry,
soundboard LED boards.
Yeah. I don't think I have a favorite between Arduino and SparkFun is a company that's actually in Boulder, which is north of us, or north of Boulder, and they do a smart board, a red board, which is similar to Arduino. There's a lot of different things. I do love the Adafruit stuff. That they just have incredible things on their website. So if you haven't visited it much or purchased there's some great things there. But at the end of the day, those boards to me are kind of what I have on hand, and let's go for it. I think the teensies and the things like that from Adafruit are really beneficial, especially if you're doing cosplay and things. And now that we're talking about our Mandalorian costumes, I'm thinking about how we can do automation and lighting and things within the costume, and I think that would be super cool. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. Did I miss anything? No? Okay.
There's a question here I think's come up a couple times. Tron pig? It's a pig with Tron lights on him. Can you make an interactive ship AI with maybe a touch screen or maybe an app to download for Apple and Android? And you can put like an iPad or tablet on an iPad or tablet or phone and install it in a wall or something.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot. I don't know about creating apps. I've never created an app.
Right.
I have thought often about taking an iPad or something similar and creating movable graphics and things like that. I use a lot of Adobe After Effects. I'm an Adobe fan. I think that comes from college and using Photoshop and Illustrator for so long. But you can do a lot of animation type stuff. So I think there's possibilities of doing some interactive stuff there. I love the idea of making an app. It kind of melts my brain a little bit to kind of go down that rabbit hole. If there's anything about me, if I see a shiny new, like, learn this, I'm okay. And I go over there and I dive into it. And by the time I get out of it, I come back out and say, well, how do I tie my shoes again? Because there's only so much room up here. And I just lost that train of thought completely. Did you see that? How much is left in that glass? Wow. Yeah. Anyway, so app. I'd love to look into that. That's a really cool idea. It's a really cool idea.
All right. Well, I look for the next question we have. Sandy A says, where are your fur kids?
They're inside. One's in the kennel. That's the wind, not the dog.
Yep.
And then the other one is probably with her Winegator. We have a Westie that has a little pink alligator, and when she squeezes it, she whines with it.
Yes.
It sounds cute until it's like the 15th hour of listening to it.
Yes.
But no, they're adorable.
Yes.
Next time we'll bring them.
All right. There was a question that I've kind of lost.
Uh-oh.
I apologize.
Jeez.
It has to do with screen accuracy.
Oh, goodness. Like why I'm not screen accurate or...
No, hold on. Sorry, I'm scrolling.
We're scrolling. Live is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
What's crazy?
Live, going live.
Oh,
I never thought I'd be a go live person. I like to edit myself.
My bad.
I probably should
bad.
be. You lost it.
Have you ever thought about doing more screen accurate? I think it can just speak to our thoughts on that.
Screen accuracy. There's a couple of thoughts I have on it. Number one, there are makers out there. Do we have? It says,
do you ever focus on about screen accuracy on certain props builds? This is Jason H.
Okay. All right. So I think I'll answer it the same way. There are a lot of makers out there that are perfectly screen accurate. When my dad made his 2/3 scale R2, for example, which all the parts are handmade, it's incredibly screen accurate and it's amazing. I love it. And we belong to the Replica Prop Forum. If you're not on the RPF, you need to go there. Not right now. Let's finish this. Then you can go there. But you need to go there. And there are makers and builders there that it's amazing that they can do it. It's not so much that we can't. It's just that for me, they're better at it and it's been done. And I like to live in the universe. I like to take inspiration from what is screen accuracy and create my own riff that belongs in that universe, but it's not screen accurate. That said, there are a couple of props, and number one, there is one that I'm fully planning on a complete screen accurate build, and that's a true Star Wars: A New Hope Graphics Luke Skywalker lightsaber.
I think that actually answers the Space Droid's question.
Yeah. Okay.
What is the think prop of a movie that you have not built yet, but that is number one on your to-do list?
I don't know if it's number one on the to-do list, but that is a screen accurate prop that I want to have. I don't want the electronics in it. I don't want a crystal chamber in it. I want as close as I can get to the original screen use prop as possible. It's just one of those things. That and the DL-44 Han Solo blaster, not the Greedo killer, but the generally used prop in Star Wars: A New Hope. And if you don't know all of that lore, there's a Greedo killer that was used in one scene. There's photo ops that they did. They used a different version. Empire Strikes Back has a different version. Return of the Jedi has 2 versions. I just want one of those. It's kind of mounted on the wall back there, but it's not done. Yeah, so those are a couple of the screen accurate props. I would like a screen accurate Imperial probe droid in my yard. Yes. That would be epically cool.
With a bird feeder.
And we talked about it, like having a double as a birdhouse and a bird feeder because, we always do that to ourselves, but that would be cool.
Oh, here's a funny one.
Okay.
Jedi Magic. What have you built that your wife hated?
Whoa, well, that's not a question for me. What have I built that you hated?
Oh.
Is there anything that you were just like, why is that in my house? It doesn't have to be Star Wars related, I guess, at this point.
Well, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, so there must not have been.
That's how good it is around here, folks. She hates nothing. No, there's nothing that interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Let me ask her a question. What is the one thing I built that you love the most?
I love Lefty.
Thought she would have said the Han and Carbonite downstairs.
Well, it's
because I catch her down there, longingly looking.
I hold my hand up to Han
at
Solo's
Harrison
hand.
Ford's
I'm like,
face.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, he's in Carbonite. This is creepy.
I can't believe you caught me. Next question from Ann Luke 1.
Please, go for it.
It'll be 1 a.m. at his time, so it's probably almost 2.
Oh, goodness.
If you could collaborate with anyone dead or alive, who would it be and what would you make? Dun, dun, dun.
Dead or alive. I'm going to answer this in two ways because this actually lives up here right now. There isn't anyone that I would necessarily collaborate with who's no longer with us. Not because I wouldn't want to, but because the connection I have would be with today, right? What tools and things we could do today. Um, Number one would be Bill and Brittany Duran of Punish Props. They're big heroes of ours. We just there's so much that can be learned from the techniques and things that they do. So a lot of you already are aware of Punish Props. If you're not, you really need to check that out. There's a catalog. I can't even tell you how many videos there are of different ways to learn things. Everything I learned about, not everything, but most of what I learned about casting and molding came from there, and the rest came from my father. Between those two, you're set, right? So I would love to do a build with them, and we actually have an idea. Don't tell them, in case they watch this. Don't tell them, but we do have an idea we want to share with them, and as soon as that gets shared, we'll see if that actually comes true. But that's someone I'd like to collab with. Other than that, obviously, stepping into Adam Savage's cave and working in there, I wouldn't even care what we worked on. I'd build him a better, Kleenex box. I wouldn't care. It's just the way that man's mind works. It would just be pure fun to just build something there. There's a lot of philosophy he has about his shop and that first order of retrievability and all of that I buy into. I don't know if I could work in the amount of chaos that happens in there, but I have total respect for that chaos. And I'm starting to adopt some of that in my own workflow, and it's changing the way I do things. So that would be really enjoyable. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Love it.
Awesome.
We got a super chat from Gary Anderson.
Gary. Again? Another one?
Oh, it is. Yeah, I think so.
What are you doing?
Who shot? Ultimate question. Who shot first?
Han Solo shot first. Don't even get me started on that one.
Let's move
my
on.
Goodness.
Oh, good.
No, absolutely.
Another one here.
Every day and then some. I actually own 2 copies of the original Star Wars A New Hope. I have to watch those.
Well, don't you also have the beta?
I do have a Betamax version that I stole from my parents. Sorry, guys.
By the way, whoops. Quiddim says, do your best Star Wars impersonation.
Do I have a Star Wars impersonation?
Chewie.
Well,
I don't know. That just popped into my head.
You can do, but
I can't.
I don't even. She just
all right,
did that.
That's why I'm usually quiet.
Wow, I have no idea what that would even be. I don't have a good one.
Okay, you think about that.
I will think about it, and I will try.
Okay, here's
She's
now
giggling.
I'm embarrassed.
She's kidding. Well, she should be embarrassed after that Chewie. That was like
Rainer,
a dying Chewie.
It was. Rainer Figallo. Any tips for painting my life-size Gonk droid?
Ooh, so I'm gonna have to ask what it's made out of. Typically, folks make their gonks out of like Rubbermaid containers. The biggest problem with that is the type of plastic, the material that the Rubbermaids are made out of. They don't hold paint well. They're designed to resist everything. So you'll want to try to sand it if you can, to build a little bit of a tooth on the outside of it so that it'll actually hold the paint. And then I would say to prime it, with I use Rust-Oleum a lot, both the red and the gray primer. I dig the red. I dig the red as a finished color, by the way. It's pretty fun. But anyway, I would use a primer, and then I would do a base coat, and then I would seal that base coat. Again, I use Rust-Oleum. You could do a matte or a semi-gloss or whatever finish you want to have on it. But I would seal the actual paint job and then start working on your layers of paint. Because if you don't seal it first, as soon as you start trying to weather it or apply any water or anything to it, you're going to start seeing the paint peel away from it. So, yeah, that would be my recommendation. If you have access to wood tools, I might make it out of wood. That's kind of what I'm going to do, actually. Although those compound angles and stuff. Just keep me up at
Those are
night.
for the birds.
Yeah.
Like your dad.
Scary.
We have a question here about our Mando project too, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
One is Lower Lifestyle Media. Started watching a few weeks ago. Love every video that we've produced. Big Star Wars fan.
Sweet.
Hope to see you do a Mandalorian armor build soon.
Yes.
Or something more simplistic like a lightsaber, which I might have to join you if you do so.
Okay. There's two parts to that.
And then wait,
sorry, go ahead.
One more question I'm going to tag on to that.
I got in trouble.
Not Time for Worry says, why are you going to use foam for your Mando build?
Confession time. There. Okay, let's address the first one. We will be doing step by step for as much of the Mandalorian as we can. The one thing about our channel and our builds is that we started out doing very step by step tutorials, and realized that what we really want is to give you not so much the nuts and bolts, but more of the broad look at it, and hopefully give you enough of the tips that you need to go for it and just try it yourself. So what we are planning on doing with the Mandalorian is breaking down all the different aspects of the costume and then having episodes for each of those. So you'll get to see the armor build. Additionally, we thought about EVA foam just because I really wanted to try projects using EVA foam. It's pretty lightweight. It's super inexpensive. And then someone, and I really feel bad that I don't know who it was, someone started a conversation with me on Instagram about trying Sintra, which is Mandalorian Mercs approved, and said, I really wish you would try this. And here's why the Mandalorian Mercs make it a requirement. And it's all about durability and longevity, really. So it got me thinking about it. And then I started talking to Chris about it and saying, maybe EVA foam isn't the way we want to go for the armor, because we do want durability and we do want longevity. And that would actually allow us to get into the Mercs, which would be really cool. So all those words said, we're probably going to shift gears and make the actual armor out of Sintra and go forward with that. And then the other part of that question was the lightsaber. And I'm going to thank everyone that jumped in on our community post. We did a poll recently. We get a lot of requests for, can you make X? Can you make Z, Y, and so on? We decided to let you guys vote. Like, what small project outside of the room build and the Mandalorian project do you want to see us do? We put up DIY lightsaber. We put up Star Wars binoculars. We put up Jawa blaster. And the other one, which I'm really excited about, it has the least votes, was the Star Wars dartboard. And I was crazy excited about that because it's different. We're going to build all of them. So we're just going to start in that poll and go from the most votes to the least votes. And we'll pepper those in over the next, couple months or whatever. And then Carissa this morning at breakfast, God bless this woman, let me tell you, she says, well, if we're going to do a DIY lightsaber, why don't we do two? I'll make one, you make one. I'm not all that thrilled about doing this because we had date night last week and we made 2 laptop covers and I didn't know it was a competition and I lost. But she did make a really awesome laptop. So if I lose again with a lightsaber, you're going to start seeing her on camera. She's hiding over there right now. Cool. Sorry. I hope we answered those questions for you.
Someone, Josh Potts says, have you ever done live action role play? I don't even know what that is.
I have not. I haven't. I haven't really been much of a cosplayer either. And I'm not really sure why that is. We've always had Halloween parties and we've always dressed up. And we've always spent a lot of time making really elaborate costumes, but we've never done any kind of role-playing activities or any of that kind of stuff. We just haven't. I think the Mandalorian at Star Wars Celebration is probably going to be the first time I've gone to a con in a costume.
Oh, I did before you did.
Well, she
Yeah,
went
but
as
just-
a Twi'lek smuggler at Star Wars Celebration in Florida
Yes.
3 years ago. Yeah.
And yes. Okay.
What else? What we got? I think
All
someone
right.
asked us about Star Wars Celebration, right?
Yeah. What days are we going?
We are going on day all of them. We're going to be there. You know, God willing, all of this stuff will go away and we'll be able to have Star Wars Celebration. And if we do, we will be there every day. We've talked about a bunch of different things that we want to do. We want to have a meetup, a Smuggler's Room meetup, and we all get together. We also talked about doing a Smuggler's Room scavenger hunt. So we'll give you more information on what that might entail. But we want to do some stuff with all of you guys because you've been incredibly supportive. So if anything else, we just get to hang out and geek out in Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
And if you haven't gone, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Probably to the next one because they're sold out now.
Yeah.
Or I don't even know.
I don't know.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Have you ever Owen Tomlinson apologize. Have you ever thought about doing a project with the Amazon Echo Show? And we just got a super chat from Mark Miller.
Mark, thank you so much. That's too kind. That's too kind.
How to do
that? An Amazon Echo
Show.
Echo Show.
We know not what this is.
I don't know what an Echo Show is. I know what an Echo is, and we did the Han Solo and Carbonite jukebox with an Echo. But reply in the comments if you can what the Echo Show is. And who gave us the super chat? I'm sorry, Mark.
It disappeared.
Mark Miller.
Yes, Mike.
Thank
Miller?
you, Mark. Mike or Mark.
Okay.
And he had 2 questions.
Oh, yeah, it popped up and went away on me. Sorry.
We'd like a Carissa teaches us to sew episode and
oh boy,
an actual RPG.
Oh.
And ever play? Oh no, and ever play an actual RPG. Okay, so yes, Chris and I were huge fans, like scary fans of Star Wars: The Old Republic. I think that qualifies. I hope it does.
I think so, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a worldwide.
It was a
MMORPG,
MMORPG, and I loved it. So here was the biggest problem I had with it. So, number one, I loved that era of Star Wars. It was so much fun. But the problem was all the missions, no matter what character, they started to repeat themselves for me. Like the programming behind it was very repeatable over and over again. And I got bored.
Brian gets bored easy.
I need variety.
I had to play by myself after a while.
I know. I feel bad. I mean, we really liked it. We had a great time. So yes. And then Carissa teaching you to sew 100%. With the Mandalorian costumes, we are definitely going to have some in-depth sewing tutorials on that. We might even get her to step in front of the camera for that too. And then we're going to have a little video on how to make these, the masks.
Yes.
So she's already recorded it. We'll put it up. It won't be the project video of the week, but we'll put it up so in case you need to make one with the sewing machine. Absolutely. Yes.
We have 2 Garys on here. Gary Emerson and Gary Anderson.
Oh, that's okay. So there's 2. I'm sorry, Gary and Gary. So Gary Anderson is the Gary we met in Chicago.
And I love his hat. I think you can see it now. I'm not quite sure if you can see his little
hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jane from Firefly, which is another thing we love.
Yeah.
A man they call Jane.
Okay, that was really bad.
There we go. We're not singers, folks.
We do have a question again from Tron Pig. If you could bring out your favorite prop that you can hold. Can you hold Lefty?
I can't hold Lefty. He's fat.
He's fat
just
and
like
heavy.
me. He's very heavy. My favorite prop that I can hold.
Oh, we got a TD in the house. Great chat.
What?
He doesn't know what we're...
He what?
Tyler's in the house.
Tyler! Our buddy Tyler's in the house. I don't get to see Tyler, but I'm glad you're here,
I don't know what
buddy.
you're talking about. But if this is the only way I can see BT and CT, I'm in. Oh, Tyler.
Tyler's one of our dearest friends, and I'm super pumped that he's here. When we play poker, and we're going to teach Tyler sabacc. And we brought this up to him. And he said, "Can I gamble and drink?" And we said, "Yes, you can.
Win money and drink.
And win money and drink. And yeah, you can. And we're going to do sabacc on that. The prop. Do I have a prop in here?
Most of them are downstairs.
There's a lot downstairs.
Yeah.
Man,
Maybe next time we'll have to pull out a
You know, I'll pull out one. I'll pull out one that's my favorite.
Got a super chat from Jay Cooley, 3D CG props cosplay. Thank you.
This is one of my favorites. This right here. I'm gonna make sure it's in focus here for you. That way.
Not screen accurate.
It's not a screen accurate prop, but I got to make this with my dad. And that was a big deal. That was a big deal to do that.
On the turning lathe, who was your...
Yeah, so the turning lathe that this was made on, and we have a video for this, but the turning lathe that this was made on was my grandfather's. It's a 1953 turning lathe. And my grandfather was in World War II. He was a side gunner in a B-17 bomber. But he was a lifelong carpenter and maker, and I can go back generational and see where it started, right? That infection of I have to make things. And so being able to sit with my dad and make that on my grandfather's lathe and using all of that, it was just amazing. So it's not screen accurate, but it's one of my favorite things. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
We have a question from Tommy Benenfield. Is this live? As yes, indeed.
This is live. It doesn't get any more raw than right now.
Yeah. Paul Zinda would love to see an episode of Can You Star Wars This? I'm doing air quotes.
Yep.
Roomba Droid. Yes.
That's hilarious. She's been asking me for a Roomba, however you pronounce it. She's been asking me for over a year. And yes, we will do that. We will make one.
Are we Stargate fans? Asked George Simpson III.
The Stargate movie, I loved it. It was fantastic. I like most things that Kurt Russell is in. I never really got into any of the Stargate TV shows for whatever reason. I'm not really sure if there was a reason or not. We just never really did. But yeah, definitely the movie.
Great. Marcus Pachi. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. Ever plan on going to Dragon Con in Georgia?
I so want to go to Dragon Con. There are 3 cons that I really want to attend. Dragon Con is 100% one. I think it's Blitz Con. I'm pretty sure that's the right one. I'm gonna feel really dumb if that's not it. And then obviously we've never gone to San Diego Comic-Con, which hurts my brain that we've never done that. But those 3 for sure. But yeah, Dragon Con seems like that's cosplay mecca. I guess the reason we haven't gone before is that I've never really had a costume to wear, and I need a better physique for costumes. I'm gonna lose some weight for the Mandalorian. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna do. Let's do 2 more questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
2 more.
Let's see here.
We have
There's a good one here. Alcacea, I believe. I live in Puerto Rico. Thank you for joining us.
Hey.
And it's difficult to find a good hobby store who sells paints for airbrush.
Okay.
In PR or online. Can you tell me about a good online store? The second question is, which paints do not need to be diluted or mixed with enamel or acrylic thinner?
Gotcha. Okay, so online store, guiltily, I usually turn to Amazon because I can find most everything I want on Amazon. But I know that Vallejo airbrush paints can be found on multiple websites. So Vallejo airbrush is the stuff I like the most. It's not overly expensive. A little goes a long way. You don't have to dilute it. And their color assortment is ridiculous. There are so many different colors they have.
As a designer, as I am, I'm always looking for the perfect color, and they have great colors.
It's a really good product. They are small bottles, and you can buy them in kits. I bought a metallic kit I don't know, a couple months ago. I think the whole kit was $30, and there was, I don't know, 20 some odd different flavors.
A whole lot.
Yeah,
it's a really.
I really like the Vallejo stuff. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Max Colbeck says he's currently building. Let me try that again. White Claw. I'm currently building my own mini droid inspired by your builds.
Sweet.
And was curious what the most challenging part of your build is.
Patience. I'm so impatient. I mean, let's put it this way. If I would have had to make from scratch all the parts for Lefty, it wouldn't happen. Maybe it would have, but it would have been really hard. I like projects that I can put together really quickly. The room build has really been challenging because I'm taking extra time to make sure it's exactly the way I want it. So I would say, first of all, is probably patience. The second part is, for me, was deciding how it was supposed to look, what I was going for. There's a lot of, we're in the R2 Builders Club, and thankfully that group has accepted us as 2/3 scale builders, which they work really well in the back seat with the seatbelt on. Yeah. I'm just saying, instead of having to load it in a trailer. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of R2s. Like, that's what people make, and that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's incredible. I wanted to go somewhere different. So it was really hard for me to decide how I wanted him to look. And we kind of had this story going when I was putting him together. That was, like, you showed up at an abandoned rebel base somewhere, and there was an astromech in pieces, or multiple astromechs in pieces. And we took the dome from this one because it was sort of working, and the body from this one, and we just kept putting it all together. And that's sort of why he's kind of part and piece looking. It was all the leftover parts.
Hence
Lefty. So that's kind of where I struggled, was coming up with the design and how it was going to look.
So we do have another super chat for $20.
What? $20?
Pug Space Pirate.
You're kidding.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank
wow.
you.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, I know I'm behind.
That's okay. Yeah. Did he have a question or anything with it?
He says, keep going. Sorry. Keep going.
We will absolutely do that. We will absolutely do that.
Just keep building. Just keep building.
There it is.
Whoa.
Yeah. Nice job.
Just
well done.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that if I'm not making something, I would go insane. So, and it's kind of how this started. I think Carissa mentioned to me when I started working on the room again, and said, this is going to be it. This is the last time, which this is the last time. She said, you should record it. I'm like, who would want to watch that? Who would care? You guys are awesome. You care. You actually watch it.
It is
we
awesome.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. We got one more question.
Hold on. I want to get through some of these.
Okay. Sorry.
Kevin Heidel Brand says, sup, big guy.
Kevin?
Happy Good Friday. Yep.
Kevin Hildebrand?
Yeah.
Kevin! Dude, thanks for coming by. Kevin and I worked together for a long time. Kevin's an awesome guy. As a matter of fact, I have a pile of insanely cool stuff over here that I have not taken apart that Kevin brought me.
Oh, right.
So there's a projector over there and some Extron gear, and it's just awesome stuff.
This is funny here. Bill Craig says, Kevin. Now I know what he's talking about.
Bill's here.
Hi, Bill.
Bill's in the house. I can't tell you guys, if you're ever going to try something crazy like build a YouTube channel where you take a bunch of junk and you put it together on camera and people say, that's cool, you need to have great support. And we have the most incredible friends and support around us. People like Kevin, people like Bill, and the Trujillos and the Bryans. I'm sure they're watching too, and our family, the Lowers and Thompsons, and you name it. That it's been awesome. So we appreciate that more than you know. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, let's see here.
Did I just see Jason York?
Yes, I think he popped in to say, "Oh yeah, super chat
from Jason."
And then
Thank
Kevin
you, Jason,
Moore as well.
Jason's been a long time huge fan of the channel. We're so thankful for you. So thankful. Jason built an incredible base for his. I think it's an R5 that you're building, right, Jason? And anyway, it's an incredible base. It looks so good. We'll put his Instagram link down in the comments below. I don't know if you have it there or not, Jason, but we want to share that if you can. And if Ron is watching, by the way, Ron built an incredible theater. And for 3 weeks, we've been planning on doing a Geek of the Week episode to showcase different builds that you guys have been doing. And we were going to kick it off with Ron's theater build. And that poor guy has waited for, it's been months since we've been saying we're going to do that. So we're going to do it, Ron, I promise. Yeah, we're going to take care of that and get it done.
Oh. Super chat from Gary Anderson.
Gary.
P.O. box for gifts, maybe an episode with you opening them and reviewing them.
So we've been talking about doing that. It's weird for us, right? We don't want anyone to feel obligated that they would need to send anything, or that you need to be Patreon members, or any of this stuff. It's so appreciative. But we've been thinking about a P.O. box because we've been thinking about different ways that we could do that kind of stuff. So we'll do that. Yeah.
Once this whole mess of the world settles down, I'll leave the house again.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to go to the mailbox right
now. No, right now they come to us.
Okay, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up. My voice is almost shot. Thank you all for showing up. We really do hope that you are staying safe and you're being careful out there, and we're all staying home, and that sucks, but hopefully the light side of it is, I mean, I kind of like being locked down in my shop. You know, it's nice to be able to spend time with my wife and work on projects, and hopefully you get to spend time with your kids and your family and doing that kind of stuff. So we appreciate you guys coming by. We will do this again. I'm not 100% sure if we'll do it next week, but we would like to start doing at least a couple times a month, doing a live, and we'll do some more interactive stuff. We'll build some projects, like I said, and it'll be good.
And I know I didn't get to everybody. I apologize. You guys are great keeping this thread going. And if I missed your question, I apologize.
Yeah. I just saw the Dano channel showing us a super chat.
Yeah. Oh,
the Sketchy Guy Nevada. The Sketchy Guy Nevada. Thank you guys so much. Dano channel. You guys have to check that out. He does all kinds of great Star Wars content over there. And the Sketch Guy Nevada, go have a look. He does some incredible work, and you need to check that out as well.
Oh, good night, Kumo, KNS from Spain.
All right. Thanks for staying up. Oh my gosh, it's late. I hope it was worth it. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, We're out of here. Love all you guys. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Oh, I was going to play this song again. It's over here. Oh.